Hello, so I'm joining you from Dee's sewing space today. So we are doing another stash reorganisation. So do you want to kick us off by letting us know your aims for what you want to achieve today, Dee?
I think the main aim for me is to get things on Stash Hub.
Yeah.
And maybe destash a little. I'm not very good at that, so that might be the hardest part. But yeah, just work out, because if I work out what I need and what I don't need,
yeah,
then that will mean that naturally space is going to clear up.
Yeah.
So if I destash some stuff, that will give me better space. But also find out how I can make the space work better for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's probably my main aim of today.
Brilliant. So stay tuned to see how we get on with that.
So currently I have a unit which is smaller than a calyx, but like a calyx, with loads of fabric in it there. I have some fabrics down there, I have some denim there, I have a whole laundry basket full of remnants, which I know we can't do much with today, but and then I've got these baskets up here that can possibly be reused as something else. That's got bias binding and things like that in it. That's now empty because we've just emptied it. It did have projects in it. That's got haberdashery bits in it. Down there I've got some patterns, and up there I've got patterns. These are the ones I tend to use most of the time, my PDF ones. So those are okay, they just need to be labelled up for another day. But I have got some down there that need sorting out, which I will do myself, but I'm happy to reuse that basket for something else, which will push me to do that, I think. Shoemaking in here and crochet knitting in there. So that's my sewing room. Oh, and behind me I also have a chair of fabric, and actually on the stash chats we talked about the chair fabric. the chair of fabric, yeah, where everything gets dumped when it doesn't have a home, and that needs to be gone through as well, definitely. Yeah, so that's it.
So now it's time to get going with the process. So our approach here was to just pull out a group of fabrics at a time. So what we tended to do was take all of the fabrics out of one box in the storage unit, just to free up that unit as a storage place to put things away in. And then we went through each fabrics, and Dee decided which fabrics to keep and which fabric to destash. And she was actually really, really good at this progress. So I'll show you in a bit the destash pile that we managed to accumulate. So some of these fabrics were already in Stash Hub, especially the ones that were from subscription boxes, including So Helly Jane, because those are really easy to add to Stash Hub using the QR code. So we looked at each fabric, and all the ones that Dee decided to keep, we checked whether it was in Stash Hub, and if it wasn't, we added it to Stash Hub. So I just added each fabric to Stash Hub individually, just using the standard tapping on the plus button and then tapping add new, so that I could take a photo and then add in any information that we knew about the fabric. So usually you can kind of tell the composition just by the feel of the fabric, and Dee was actually really good at remembering where she got a lot of the fabrics from as well. She's even got a little book from when she first started sewing that we looked up some of her earlier fabrics in. And then we decided that we would carry on with the rolling of the fabrics, which was kind of the system that we had before, but just kind of try and get them all the same length so they looked a little bit neater in the storage unit. And we decided to sort them by type. So we had like a box for the heavier weight, bottom weight fabrics, 2 boxes for jersey, and box for cottons, that sort of thing. And all the ones that you can see that we're walking towards the camera and putting in the other room are ones that are going in for destashing. So we made really quick progress on this, and it only took us a couple of hours to get all the fabrics done. Here is a peek at Dee's Stash Hub, because I know that the uploading process can feel really overwhelming. So this is just to show you how much can be added in just a few hours. You can see from the counter that there's now a total of 87 fabrics in the stash. And then we went through and put the essential information in, so the length and the width and the composition if we knew it, and then any other information that we had. But remember that all the fields in Stash Hub are optional, so you don't have to spend ages filling everything in. Then these are some of the fabric stats. So you can see there's a total length of 145 meters. So it really isn't that bad, because do you really stress, oh, I've got so much fabric, you're going to have your work cut out. But yeah, we managed to get through it quite quickly. So here's a little nosy at some of the top fabric types, the shops, all the different stats that you can see in Stash Hub. Ta-da! This is Dee's celebratory sit on the chair, because now all of the fabrics are in this lovely box instead. Hooray! We've had a really successful morning. So most of the fabric is now in this unit, and they're sorted by type as well. So in this first little box, we've got pieces that are around 1 meter long. This is sort of heavier cottons and like bottom weight fabrics. Then we've got 2 cubbies of jersey in the middle. We've got cottons here, and then this is viscoses and double gauze. And then this on the top is a cover to go over the top, so none of the fabrics get sun damaged. So we decided to stick with rolling for these fabrics because of the size of the containers. That just worked better than using comic book boards. And then we managed to clear out another whole Kallax box here, which is now where the projects are being stored. And we've got that other Kallax box that was cleared out, which is used to store some more of the heavier weight fabrics. So the next challenge to tackle is this rather sizable destash pile. So we're going to record the fabrics in Stash Hub as we have done with the other fabrics that we're keeping, but we're going to set the status to destashed, and then it's really easy to download photos from Stash Hub and to copy the info as well. So I'll show you how to do that in this video too. During the course of your fabric sort out, you're likely to identify fabrics that you don't plan to use and you'd like to rehome. This process is known as destashing in the sewing community on Instagram, and is really important to help keep your stash fresh and inspiring. It also helps ensure the fabrics get put to good use, and it frees up space in your sewing area to make your sewing area more functional for you. If you've got all the fabric information recorded in Stash Hub, it's really easy to export that information to help you with the destashing process. If you tap into a record, you can identify this fabric as one for destashing by changing the status to destashed. If you tap on the top where it says the status, which is currently uncut, you can see the other options and then change the status to destashed. You're then able to filter for your destash records to see all of the fabrics that you plan to destash together. Then to export the information, you can tap into the image and then tap on the download button at the bottom. That will download the image into your camera roll, so you don't have to take new photos for your destashing. Then you can also tap on the 3 dots menu in the top right and then tap on copy info. This will copy all the key information out of your fabric record, which you can then paste into Instagram or eBay or Vinted or wherever you plan to sell your fabric. So just for an example, I'll move over to notes, and you can attach the photo that I downloaded from Stash Hub, and you can also press and hold to get this option bar to come up and select paste. So this gives you the name of the fabric at the top, the length, the width, the weight, all the information that I had in my record, plus the description. And then of course you can edit that if there's anything else that you want to add for the people potentially buying your fabric. So that's one way that the Stash Hub can help you out with your destashing process and help keep your stash fresh and inspiring with very little effort on your part.
All right, we're back after it was really just a very productive morning of sorting.
Very productive.
Went quite quickly. So, yeah, how are you feeling about your stash now?
I'm quite proud of myself. Yeah, I'm really pleased. I'm just hoping that I do get on a destash. I'm going to try and do it tonight. So hopefully by the time you see this, it'll have been done.
Yeah.
And it's just great that you can see everything and know what's there. So, and also, I didn't have as much fabric as I thought I did.
Yeah. So it's more like just the kind of like chaos of it that was overwhelming rather than the fabric itself.
yeah, it probably is as much that as everything else, and it arrives, isn't it? And you think, I'll put it there to do this with that, and I'll put it there. But actually, to just measure it, get it on Stash Hub, put it away, then you don't have to think about it anymore. So, and I've been shown all the stats and how things work on Stash Hub, so that's really good. I had a little tutorial, so that's going to help me going forward as well, because that's really important.
How did you find the process of like getting stuff out and measuring it and finding new homes for it?
It was more fun with you than it is on my own. Get a friend to help, that's what I say. Yeah, it's definitely more fun when you've got someone else to do it. I still think not doing it, I mean, doing it on my own, it would still be a bit boring. However, even stupid things like how to measure it, the best way to fold it, things that you think are so obvious but actually are quite, you don't always think about it. Sometimes you need a bit of guidance. I'm not, I've never done anything in a sewing shop or a fabric shop or anything like that, so I don't really know what I'm doing. So even having tips and hints on things like that was really, really helpful for me. So yeah, Thank you so much.
Yeah, so you're excited to like plan your projects in Stash Hub now as well?
Yep, and do the ones I've already planned.
Yeah, you planned them in your head, but now you can free up that brain space.
I've actually got some in Stash Hub, but I'll have a project and I might have the pattern but no fabric on there, or the fabric no pattern, and like you say, in my head I know what I've got to add on there, but I need to get the fabric out, find it or whatever, so I can now marry it all up and hopefully it'll be a lot neater.
Yeah.
So,
Amazing.
Yeah, definitely. So it's definitely been worthwhile and really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Cool. So is there any advice that you'd give to someone who thinks they need to have a good sort out of their stash but's been putting it off?
First of all, I think it's really good to have somebody else to help you, whether it be a family member, a friend or whatever, because they can look at something a little bit more from the outside. So there were certain things where I was maybe a little bit, well, I don't know what to do, and you came up with something more constructive, and they was like, yeah, you're right, I will keep it, or no, I won't keep it. So it's really good to have that, to help them help you measure and to put them on is really helpful, because that halves the process really when you've got a couple of people doing it. So I definitely think that's worthwhile thing to do. But yeah, I think also I would say, and I'm the worst for this, learn more about Stash Hub, because I'm the first one to say I don't use it to its full advantage, and I know I don't, but I'm not very good at watching tutorial videos all the time. I might watch a few bit, or if I'm specifically looking to do something, I will look for it, but I'm not one for just scrolling through videos. So there's a lot of features I don't even know exist on there because I've missed it. So today there's certain things you did where you were like, oh, but you can do it this way, or and I think that's been really valuable. So definitely watch the videos, educate yourself, because I know I will be in future.
Yeah, I mean, we don't help by keep putting out new features.
I know,
so
it grows bigger than I can keep up. That is definitely a thing. So, but yeah, so I think it's definitely, I need to learn probably even more, but what you've told me today has been great. So again, even just talk to other people that use it about how they use it. Maybe that's another thing to do. If you know somebody else that uses it, ask what features they use and how they can help you.
Definitely.
So.
And yeah, I've been really impressed with your destashing today as well, because I know beforehand I said, have you got things that you might want to destash? And you were like, yeah, probably, but I don't know if I'll be able to, let things go, and we'll see kind of how it goes. And you actually managed to destash like over 20% of your
It hasn't gone yet, that's what I'm going to say. However, what has made it useful, what is going to spur me on, I think, is my fabric now looks really nice and neat and tidy. So to try and fit that back in there, it's not going to look like that. So I think that will spur me on a little bit. But yeah, it hasn't actually gone yet. Yeah. You can praise me for that bit when I do it.
Yeah.
But again, I think it's really good because having somebody else to have that, and I've often done this with Kelly, but she's a bit rubbish because she'll say, oh, but you could make this out of it. It would look great as that. And I'll go, oh yeah, you're right. I'll keep it then. Whereas possibly because you don't know me as a person so well, she's known me for 40 years, it's you can be a bit more sort of, well, actually, would you? Do you? Yeah. Should you? Or it won't suit you, or whatever. So, so I think that's been really constructive for me.
I mean, I feel like I didn't even have to like push you to let go of stuff, really. Just me being there, you're looking at it like, and I can see your face like, okay, yeah. I think this one's going to destash.
Yeah, I mean, there was the first off the ones I probably knew I should destash. A lot of on the chair were ones that I talked about destashing and thought, no, I'm going to do a project with it, and never have. So the fact that I've already thought about it once, I still haven't done the project, then you know, it's got to go, hasn't it? So those were the sort of ones that were easy. And then, like you say, as things started to unfold, and it was like, well, actually, I don't want that little bit, or, you know, that one, I've got enough in there, I've got enough viscoses, or I've got enough jerseys, I don't need these ones that I may or may not use. Whereas I think before, because there was just fabric everywhere, it's like, I can't get rid of anything because I might need it.
Yeah.
But actually, when you can see what you've got, you can see what you don't need.
Yeah. No more accidentally buying the same fabric twice.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, because that has happened. Yeah, there was a sequin fabric that I bought twice by accident. And one set, 3 meters of it is now in my D-stash.
Yeah.
Because again, I bought it and thought, well, I knew I liked it the first time round, so I'll use it. But I'm not going to use another 3 meters of sequins.
You just were too in the zone.
I already have 2 sequin outfits. And so does my doll, as you pointed out a minute ago. So, so it definitely had to be de-stashed. And I think that's the thing, isn't it? Sometimes you don't want to de-stash it because you like it. But actually, if you've already got something out of that fabric or very similar fabric, will you use it again? Yeah. No, let somebody else get the joy. Yeah.
And there'll always be more fabric. So
there
you
will always
can
be more fabric.
More.
Definitely always be more fabric, yeah. And now I know where my gaps are. I know what I can get now, what I'm not allowed to get.
And treat yourself to some viscose this summer.
Yeah, definitely, but no more jersey. But yeah, so my So Haley James box will be here soon as well, so I'll have another one to go in there. But that's nice and easy because that's a really easy input. So
yeah,
definitely.
All right, well, brilliant. Thanks, Dee. You did an amazing job today, and thanks for letting me into your home and sharing your stash with everyone. It's been really good fun.
For coming. It has been great.
All right, thanks. Bye.
Bye.